Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is going to win the contract battle with the Cardinals, and they would be silly to drag this out. So there were some murmurs yesterday. Tom Pelissero reported that the Cardinals have yet to make an extension offer to Murray, and Kyler Murray's agent has informed Arizona weeks ago, in fact, that he was pulling his opening proposal off the table, and it is on the board that he will hold out if he does not get a deal that he likes. Now, again, breathe. Everyone's freaking out about all the power that quarterbacks have now and holding out and what does this say and what does this mean and too much power to the players. That's not the situation here. Now, there's some questions about Kyler Murray, and that's fair. Does he have all the leadership intangibles that he needs to have? Will he be the face of the organization in 10 years? I believe he does. But if this becomes messy with the Cardinals, they're sending a message that maybe they feel that he doesn't. So Greg Jennings talked a little bit about this earlier in the year, some of the issues that might be bubbling up with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Here's Greg Jennings.
They've created this problem. And it was a good friend, Larry Fitzgerald. I remember sitting down and talking to him and asking him about Kyler. And he said one of the things that he felt was that they rolled out the red carpet too soon for a young guy. They gave him everything that he wanted, anything. He had free reign, and it started to show in his personality and the way he carried himself. When you do that, when you make that decision early, you set yourself up to fail. And this is what has happened in that organization right now with Kyler Murray. You've already given him everything that he's ever asked for. You rolled out the red carpet. You turned over the car keys and said, "Here, this is your car. We go as you go." And now all of a sudden, he doesn't want to drive that car anymore.
I don't know what other choice the Cardinals have. This is a quarterback league. He is a franchise quarterback. It would benefit the Cardinals to get a deal done early, a longer-term deal, get the money that Kyler wants, and be able to spread it out so that you have flexibility with the cap. What are you putting off? If you're saying Kyler's not the guy, which clearly, according to Greg and Larry Fitzgerald, there are some conversations about him having some leadership issues. Maybe he's not the franchise guy. Well, that means you guys don't know how to draft quarterbacks, because this is your second one. And I don't think you're going back to Josh Rosen. But the tales of whether Kyler Murray is improving or he is the guy in Arizona are also exaggerated, because if you look at his numbers year to year, he is improving, which is what you ask for from a young quarterback. Every year he's gotten better. Has he had some injury questions? Maybe, but he's only missed 3 games in his 3 years in the league. Sorry to our radio listeners, but he's getting better every single year. Better completion percentage, more yards per game, higher passer rating, and even though nobody wants to say that wins are a quarterback stat, they're winning more with Kyler Murray. So he's your franchise guy. Why are you going to make this messy? We have 2 examples of organizations trying to go up against quarterbacks and failing. Dak Prescott, which, I've never talked about anyone's contract in the history of sports more than I talked about Dak Prescott's contract, which I said from the beginning, he is going to get, and that's what I'm saying now with Kyler Murray, he is going to get the contract. And Kirk Cousins, who we know is one of the best in all of sports at making money for not winning a lot. So if you want to go up against the quarterback, you're going to lose. That's just the world that we live in the NFL. Now, if you look at Josh Allen, who got his deal going into his 4th year, he got $43 million at 6 years. And obviously Patrick Mahomes, who got $45 million a year on a 10-year deal. I'm not saying you need to give him a 10-year deal. I'm not even saying you need to give him a 6-year deal. Give him a 5-year deal. Spread things out. Make it flexible. Make it move. But you're going to have to pay Kyler Murray. What else are you going to do? Are you going to go back on the market and look for something better? Everyone wants to find the next Patrick Mahomes. There's only one Patrick Mahomes. Don't get confused about this. And he's staying in Kansas City in perpetuity. He is going to be there. You have a young quarterback that is winning more every single year, improving every single year. Maybe he's not perfect in the locker room. Maybe you feel like you rolled out the red carpet too soon. That's a you problem, because what he's doing on the field is producing results, which means you're going to have to pay him. And clearly he has no problem playing these public games, because he already erased Arizona off of his social media temporarily. His agent has already put out a manifesto, Cheesecake Factory announcement, if you will, Cheesecake Factory menu size announcement about what they want and what they're interested in. So they are obviously ready to go to war over this contract, as they should. He's willing to leave $5.5 million on the table if he doesn't play this year. He will make that back because Colt McCoy is your backup right now, and he's not giving you a whole lot of leverage. Pay Kyler Murray. Don't drag this out. Focus on winning in the future and everything else you have to worry about because he's the franchise quarterback there. Don't worry about the money. You're going to have to pay your quarterback. It's actually a good thing to have to pay your quarterback. That means you have a guy. Everyone's looking for a guy, and Kyler Murray is that guy. We were talking a little bit about this earlier, Alex, in Russell Wilson, and he is now with the Denver Broncos. And Broncos left tackle Garrett Bowles compared his new quarterback, Russell Wilson, to some legendary NBA players. Out of all the free agency moves that happened this offseason, and there were a lot, and some pretty massive, influential ones, it was the craziest march of all time. Russell Wilson is at the top of the list. You can mention Deshaun Watson, obviously, Devontae Adams. Russ is number one. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, eventually going to be a Hall of Famer, and he forced his way out of Seattle after being the ongoing company guy. Everything was go Hawks, and then everything somehow fell apart. And now he is with the Denver Broncos. Now, I think it was a colossal mistake for the Seattle Seahawks to do that. I never would have traded Russell Wilson. I would have done anything he asked to keep him in the building because it is so hard to find a franchise quarterback, which is why Denver gave up what they gave up to get him. But now, this is why I think that the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson have the most pressure out of any team in the league. And there's a lot of teams that are on the hot seat and, really need to get over the hump this year. But we've been talking about the Denver Broncos and all the talent that they've had and how they're just a quarterback away for quite some time now. Well, they have their quarterback now. And as Garrett Bowles just mentioned, he is getting right into it. He's galvanizing his teammates. He's doing all the right things, which is what I expected Russell Wilson to do. He is a team first guy. He is someone who obviously has a huge brand in working hard and being a leader. And I can buy into all of that on the field. And I do think it's important for him to win over this locker room. One, the division is very difficult. And two, this is a pressure year for Russell Wilson. Added on to the fact that he forced his way out of Seattle and is now with Denver, who has a lot of talent in a tough division. Tom Brady left New England for Tampa Bay, immediately won a Super Bowl in a COVID year where it was almost impossible to get together and work out. Matthew Stafford leaves the Detroit Lions after 12 years of complete disarray, immediately goes to the Los Angeles Rams, who moved off a quarterback, by the way, who they had gone to a Super Bowl with, wins a Super Bowl immediately. I'm not saying Russell Wilson has to win a Super Bowl this year, but they kind of have to be great. Now, I think they will be very good, but they've got to be great. Maybe not win a Super Bowl, but there is a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson, and rightfully so. This is a situation where you forced your way out. You added things onto your plate. You clearly wanted a new situation. But when you look at what Russell has done, I mean, the last impressive playoff win he's had was the year that they lost the Super Bowl. They beat the Packers in the 2014 season. I mean, Seahawks, since 2015, their playoff wins, they've scored 17.7 points per game, 230 passing yards per game. He's really not had an influential, impressive win in a while. Now, that's probably why people are saying he's washed and he's not that good and they shouldn't have this kind of pressure on him. But I don't believe that. I think Russ is completely capable and is still a winning quarterback and will have success with the Denver Broncos with the pieces they brought in, an offensive head coach, and eventually they will get a new owner as well. They are a well-run organization with a great fan base and a great history. But there is definitely going to be some extra pressure on Russell Wilson this year, and it's deserved. Tom Brady wins right away. Matthew Stafford wins right away. Russell Wilson is going to have to make a lot of noise in Denver.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.